Hello, Rafael Groswirt here, NoLimitCoin. In this video, I want to drill into Polkadot and really all of the pieces that the new migration of our token into the ERC world /dot is going to go through. So I wanted to not only go superficially, but really drill down deeply, and maybe we're going to hit a little bit of technical stuff. But here you can see I've got Dr. Wood in the background there with all of his accomplishments. Certainly co-founder of Ethereum is amazing, but right now Polkadot is also amazing. It comes to solve the bottleneck that we've got going on with Ethereum, the fees, because essentially what Polkadot does is gives you slots for many hundreds of chains, right? Ethereum is one chain. Ethereum 2, the sharding version, is supposed to be parallel or exponentially hundreds of chains, but they've got the issue that they've already got, their market. So Polkadot gets to start with a clean slate in essence, and one of his video kind of talks about that. And we're going to explore Dr. Wood's path towards how he got to where he is now. And I'll talk a little bit about NoLimitCoin, which is moving and committing to development on the Polkadot chain /ERC-20. So it's going to be a coexistence. We're not going to have to pick, because as you can see here, there's a quote that Dr. Wood uses, which is, "I am against blockchain maximalism," which means I don't want to pick a winner, because whatever the winner today is certainly will not be the winner tomorrow. We want to be open, we want to be flexible. And what Polkadot brings is essentially the interchange. Polkadot is to crypto what internet was to computers before the internet. Before the internet, it was just computers. You had Microsoft Office, that was it. The internet came and everything exploded. So there's this huge intangible asset that's hidden with the ability to interconnect everything that you can't really summarize by saying, oh yeah, I'm going to put together, $1 billion chain here and there, and it's going to be a $2 billion chain. It'll be the $100 billion project, because the synergies from connecting everything is what brought us the innovations. When they broke up AT&T, they should have broken up Microsoft. Should definitely break up Google and all the big techs. I don't want to get in trouble for that, and that's not the subject of this. So I want to get right to this. And you can see here also the betting protocol, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 5 stakeholder smart contract, which we're going to develop on substrate on top of Polkadot on a parent chain, because there's so much on-chain activity we want to perform that it wouldn't have been viable right now to do it on the ERC-20. I mean, it would be outrageous, because we want to be burning fractions of a penny sometimes. Maybe it's a penny, maybe 5 cents, 10 cents. It's basically a percentage of every time the smart contract is used, burn, and that's how we return value to the shareholders. That would be number one, and we'll explain that. But I want to get right to it. I don't want to just ramble on here about what I'm going to do. Why don't we just get to it? So we're going to talk about Polkadot. We're going to talk about NoLimitCoin, and for those that don't want to stick around for the whole in-depth look, and you can see that I'm calling it Volume 1, because I want to go through everything that encompasses our new move in sort of an in-depth look, and that way, we can all be on the same page and really go into the weeds. I mean, yes. So let's get right to it. So I'm going to share, and I'm going to use the audio, from the speaker into the microphone. I'm going to try to figure out next time how to do it cleaner, but I apologize for that piece. All right, so let's get a little bit of the, directly from the man himself.
I have come here to talk to you today about some of the new stuff that we're doing. So I started a company called Parity. It was at the time named Ethcore. It's since changed its name. To basically create and continue the development of Ethereum and Ethereum-like stuff. So blockchain.
Not the time for internet problems.
Pushing out into the other areas of the generally sort of decentralized trust.
So I'm learning this stuff good.
That I'm going to talk about. And we have some interesting stuff that we're working on now. And hopefully you'll go home a little bit more educated on what it is that we're trying to achieve. So yeah, quick show of hands. Who's heard of Ethereum? Hey, okay, good.
I remember $3. It was like the second coin.
Who's heard of Polkadot? Okay, a few people. Who's coders? How many of you can code in like PHP doesn't count? Cool. Okay, about half. So I'm going to try and keep this talk like non-technical. I don't think it's actually going to be that beneficial to go into the technical stuff. Yeah. How did things begin? Well, I'm going to cut out most of history. I'm going to say in the beginning there was the web. So we need to really understand what the web is.
So, all right. So, you know, I want to get a little bit of the flavor directly from the man himself. So let's do this one. Exciting.
We were just kind of thinking how we could maybe create the next version of Ethereum if we sort of had a green field to design upon. So we already have technologies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are able to, in some sense, disintermediate many of the middlemen, many of the institutions and authorities, and remove the need for much of the trust in society. But what we currently have is a patchwork of, if you like, independent and isolated legal systems of the internet. And this is problematic because it creates many different groups who, although they share the same vision, have misalignment in how they wish to achieve it, creating borders where borders don't need to be there. We have this great new technology that is allowing us to automate one of the sort of very fundamental aspects of an economy, which is trust, right? Which is this idea that I can have reasonable expectations of what's going to happen without having to trust someone.
Parity Technologies, that's his company.
There was a general idea back in 2014 when we were starting Ethereum that Ethereum 2 should be being under development by late 2016, and here we were sitting around in autumn of 2016, and there was absolutely no indication that there was going to be any development significant, at least, on Ethereum 2 for some time. So really we wanted to push forward with that one way or another. Let's embark on something that we think will be complementary to Ethereum 2, a system in parallel that can fulfill things that probably Ethereum 2 is going to be less than optimal at fulfilling, and ideally that will interoperate with Ethereum 2 as well. So Polkadot is multi-chain. The idea is that it's a blockchain, but we bundle lots of different blocks up all at the same time that can be executed in parallel, right? So these things can all be executed at the same time. In doing so, we create this sort of idea of a multi-chain because every block is actually lots of different blocks. Then we can, in principle, run 100 times the amount of transactions throughput that just one chain, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, could. Polkadot is, in many respects, the biggest bet in this ecosystem against chain maximalism. Even if there were one perfect chain. I don't think it would stay perfect for very long. I would try to convince people that it's really not such a good plan to be so focused on backing one winner above all others. I have here, fresh from the Apple Store,
all right, so he gets a laptop, and then he basically goes to Substrate, which is the development language, and we're going to talk about that, and we're actually going to do videos just like what he did, and I'm going to invite people that have no experience in coding, and we're going to try to code our own stuff and show it on video. But anyway, he does that, so we're going to move on from this one, but I just wanted to get some of all right, so here's his website, his direct website, and he's like, who am I? So let's look at his website a little bit. I use this
Since my childhood, economics and game theory have always interested me, even to the point of co-publishing a strategy board game of my own design. When I first read about Bitcoin in 2011, I was largely uninterested, focusing too much on the currency aspect rather than the technology. However, when I revisited it in
let's just listen to this. Like I said, right after this, I'm going to go into a brief summary in terms of what's going on with the company, with the project, and then we'll dive right back into Polkadot. So, but let's listen to this piece.
Early 2013, I began to realize new possibilities opening up between the fields of IPC and game theory, and the inevitable social change to which this would lead. A mutual friend made the introduction to Vitalik that year, and Ethereum has dominated my life since.
Did you buy on lunch?
Having founded Ethereum with Vitalik, I coded the first functional implementation of Ethereum released as POC1 in late January 2014, invented the Solidity contract language, and read the yellow paper, the first formal specification of any blockchain protocol, and one of the key ways Ethereum distinguishes itself from other blockchain-based systems. My original ideas for a decentralized web date back to early 2013, but my first post on the topic was in April 2014, later followed by a less techy version. Prior to Ethereum, I accrued a master's degree and doctorate in computer science.
Still feels he has to justify.
I consulted for Microsoft research on technical aspects of embedded domain-specific languages, designed and implemented the first truly smart lighting controller for one of London's top nightclubs. Designed and implemented most of the world's first C++ language workbench, and built the software systems of OxLegal, a smart text contract editor.
We'll get through this.
Next.
No patience.
These days, I was Ethereum CTO for the first 18 to 24 months of the project, where I was responsible for ensuring the design, development, and final release of Ethereum went well. Following my departure from that organization, I founded Parity Technologies, then called ETHCore, with several other Ethereum alumni. Additionally, I have helped found or advise a number of additional organizations, including Grid Singularity, Blockchain Capital, Polygon Capital, and Melonport. Most recently, I have written the Polkadot paper, a proposal for a heterogeneous scalable multi-chain, the first of its kind. I have sat on panels, given seminars, and presented to numerous audiences around the world, from keynotes at regional technology conferences to musings on the future of legal systems at world-renowned law schools. I came up with the terms Web3 and Allegality. I am always happy to consider speaking engagements. Next. And also, I'm behind the Milton Keynes board game, the Fractal Playground, and the localized proportional representation voting system, the noted a plugin-based super slick audio analysis and visualization environment. I wrote a rip in peace, a CD ripper that doesn't get in your way, a mood bar on KDE Lyric. I used to teach fractals and art to kids in a school in Italy, and have helped make video games at Frontier Developments. I have a PhD in music visualization, from which came the mood bar, and have designed and implemented novel media-agnostic visualization systems and techniques. I speak Italian, some French and Spanish, and a tiny bit of Loshman and Romanian. When I get the time, I also like photography. I'm proficient in Taekwondo, and to take the edge off, I snowboard.
Cool. Very nice, Dr. Wood. Great contribution to everything we've done here. All right, and I just wanted to play a quick video here from Polkadot themselves. It gives you a nice graphical example of what it is.
Blockchains can be useful for all sorts of things, from improving open access to financial services to providing a better, safer way
This is
to manage
directly
our
from the
data
Polkadot
online.
channel.
Blockchains are used to build applications for gaming, supply chain logistics, social media, the Internet of Things, and more. But up until now, protocol limitations have made blockchain technology impractical for most real-world use cases. Networks composed of a single blockchain, for example, can only process a limited number of transactions. If too many transactions are submitted at once, a bottleneck occurs, causing delays and increased transaction fees. That won't work.
Nope.
What's needed is a way for blockchains designed for specific purposes to work together efficiently and securely at scale. This is Polkadot, a sharded blockchain protocol that unites an entire network of diverse blockchains into a single decentralized ecosystem. Polkadot makes it easier than ever for software developers, startups, and enterprises to make efficient use of blockchain technology in precisely the way that's best for their project. Polkadot makes blockchain scalable and customizable. It also unlocks cross-chain communication, transparent governance, and, for the first time ever, a way to seamlessly upgrade blockchains.
Without forking.
How does it work? Meet the Polkadot relay chain. This is the heart of the Polkadot network. All blockchains on Polkadot are connected here, like spokes connected to the hub of a wheel. Each blockchain connected to the relay chain can be optimized for a specific use case. This allows teams to incorporate exactly the functionality they need and offers greater efficiency and security than building on a general purpose blockchain. Teams can also drastically reduce the build time of their custom blockchain by building it with Substrate, our modular development framework.
That's what we're going to work on, Substrate.
The relay chain allows Polkadot to process transactions from all chains in the network at the same time, drastically increasing scalability. This simultaneous transaction processing, also called parallel processing, is why blockchains on Polkadot are called parachains. The relay chain also provides a secure way for chains to communicate with each other. Polkadot's cross-chain messaging scheme allows chains to exchange any type of data. For example, a token, an account balance, or even information from the real world, like a stock price or the final score of a sporting event. This interoperability promotes innovation and new types of services that leverage the specific capabilities of different chains. For example, for decentralized finance applications. So, what about governance? Other blockchain protocols often have a small group of stakeholders making crucial decisions in an opaque way for the entire network. Polkadot is governed transparently on-chain by all stakeholders who wish to participate by proposing and voting on referenda using Polkadot's native token, the DOT. Individual parachain teams are completely sovereign and free to govern their own blockchains in any way they see fit.
Percentage of fees?
When it comes to upgrades, the process for updating conventional blockchains can cause a hard fork, a divergence in the chain that can take months of work and risk splitting a community in two. Polkadot is the first protocol to enable forkless, on-chain upgrades. This capability means teams can bring new features to their blockchain on Polkadot, easier and faster than with any other protocol. Polkadot also enables bridges to other networks like Bitcoin or Ethereum for cross-network functionality and communication. Never before has there been a protocol for connecting diverse blockchains together and allowing them to communicate safely with each other at scale in a decentralized way. Polkadot makes blockchain technology accessible and practical for teams innovating real-world applications for a better future. This is Blockchain Unbounded. Are you ready to start building?
Very nice video. All right. So before we continue drilling even deeper, we're going to go to the white paper. We're going to do some, into the weeds kind of analysis. It's kind of fun for me. It's fun for me to try to get everybody on board. And contrary to a lot of people that might say, oh, it's too techy for me, I think everybody should, really get into it. All right. Before we get back into Polkadot and all the details, I just want to go over our project and where we are and just kind of say a few things out there. So I want to, first of all, a shout out to my buddy, Dan Hensley, brilliant guy. We all know him from his video shows, and he's been a great consultant, a friend. I almost feel like a family member. I know a lot of people feel that way about him. We miss him, but he's still as sharp as ever. And he was the one that, I went back to him and I said, Dan, I'm ready to move to ERC-20. And now that I'm ready to go, suddenly these fees are, outrageous, and you've got these bottlenecks, these delays, and what am I going to do? I've got this betting protocol that I got to be burning, hundreds of on-chain events every day. What am I going to do? He's like, hey, side chain. So we did the analysis, and everything, pointed to Polkadot. So shout out to Dan. Hopefully we'll see him one of these days back on those videos, because those were very inspirational, motivational, and right spot on. So shout out to him. Also, James Strauss, shout out to him. He's been an incredible help throughout the years, and a big holder of NoLimitCoin, also has his own coin stealth, very private oriented. And the reason I'm kind of shouting out to these guys, also saying hi to Justin Sooner. Okay, he helped me and develop a NoLimitCoin 1, NoLimitCoin 2 when we went from 1 to 2. We removed mining, and he's been awesome throughout time, has an awesome coin, also very good privacy coin. And what I want to say to everybody is that, just like the background says, I'm against blockchain maximalism. What we're going to do is, we're going to keep our old SHA-256 that you guys built for me. Those are going to stay there for a few years, and we're going to use the bridges to be able to go back and forth. So we're not going to lose our original blockchain, and maybe, you get a few coins together and we go and get one of those parachains, because they're going to auction them off. And they actually have a crowdfunding capability. So I'm inviting other people. That's why I've got my email address over here. And of course, everybody knows about the investment package, and the investors have been sending in emails. We'll get the package out soon. So anybody else that wants the package, go ahead and email there. And in terms of substrate, I'm also interested to hear from developers that might want to join the project, because we're committed to Polkadot. We're going to work with Moonbeam initially and be a parathread, and then eventually move on to our own parachain. We're going to, of course, go through Kusama. So all of those things are happening, and I'm happy to. All right, let's share again. So I just want to, I want to go through everything and also show Dr. Wood what we're doing. So we've got a fantasy sports platform that right now is basically being upgraded to also incorporate the ERC-20 wallet, which in essence, it's the whole ecosystem that we've that we'll look at right now. We also have a poker platform that we're going to be incorporating, and here we can see a summary of the ERC-20/DOT move, and I've done a video about this and about this diagram, but here in essence, you can see what we're doing here, how everything interacts. Initially, we go into the ERC-20, we get right on Uniswap, you get on Ledger, we get on the wallets. That's very upon our horizon, and I'm happy about that. And then here we explain, how the interaction comes with Polkadot. So this video is going to be more about, and here we can see, of course, the ERC-20 ecosystem. We know about the wallets, Uniswap, more exchanges, and of course the funds. And we're going to talk about that. We got to play here. Certainly the interaction in terms of Polkadot and how we want to develop our staking system, complex staking system, which Dr. Wood has alluded to multiple times, that it's not a simple thing to do, but on his substrate and on the parachains, it will be, because we won't be having the issues with the fees. And certainly the heart of this project is what we call the Nlc Betting Protocol, a 5-way contract that's going to lock the money of a bet and pay off everybody in the middle. So that is the subject of our move, certainly, and we already know that we've got our own NLC swap that's going to be a portal that's going to control those wrappers, the NLC wrapped in ERC, the ERC wrapped in DOT, which is going to be transparent, actually. And certainly a very important aspect is our investor package that's going to be released before the end of November, where we talk about the formation of the new company, the investors, and as everybody has seen, I've published my email and I've gotten a lot of emails. Thank you very much. We'll get those packages out. There's the swap right now. It's just a UI and there's nothing there. But the evolution, the reason for the investor package is we're going to expand into further real world, large scale platforms in the betting world by implementing this sports book and a live casino that we can see here and appreciate, which will be a NoLimitCoin casino. But that protocol is going to be implemented on the sports side and needs to have many on-chain events every single day, right? And that's not going to work on Ethereum. So that's why Polkadot brings an amazing solution. And the fact that they can scale is going to mean that the fees are never going to be outrageous. So here we can see the live casino. It's pretty cool. You got people from different parts of the world betting. Very soon, I'm going to love coming here and playing blackjack. Actually, US can't play, but just watching it, right? So this will be very, very exciting. And that's part of the whole reason we're raising money, as I'm showing here, sportsbook and online casino coming in 2021. That's why we're offering 20% of the stock of that company, and the first 2 rounds are really low round compared to what we want the future rounds to be. All right, so this is supposed to be a raise, but you always gotta get that in there. Another thing is Roman, the CEO of Crypto Gambling News, he's done a few articles, and he asked me to do a monthly article here, so I accepted. It's exciting for me. So I'm going to do the article pertaining to Polkadot, and we're going to continue with the whole Polkadot theme, and then I'll be doing other ones. And you can see here, Curacao, it's a very good destination for gaming. That's where we're going to set up our gaming operation. And you can see here, somebody paid $9,300. That wasn't. So anyway, so this is Crypto Gambling News, and I'm going to have a column in here. I'm not sure what Roman's going to call it, a crypto corner with Rafael Groswirt or something like that, or in depth maybe. All right, so let's slow down a little bit here and let's, drill into, okay, what is Polkadot? We already heard from Dr. Wood. We saw their version of the video. Yes, that's what it is. It's basically not really a blockchain, but a relay of blockchains, which is a lot more interesting because, as he says, you don't have to pick a winner. We're not going to pick a winner. We're going to have our existing chain with a bridge into ERC world, with a bridge into the dot world, so we could perform all those fancy smart contract operations on chain. And then we can, and when we're ready for Uniswap, we just go in there. Now, one day Dot's going to have their own swaps. And the fact that you've got the bridges is going to allow you to actually go explore, Just Swap and all the other swaps. All right. So I use this little audio reader, and we're going to drill into Polkadot, and hopefully it won't take too long.
Polkadot by itself is not a smart contract platform. It is a network that connects heterogeneous blockchains. However, Polkadot's flexible and adaptive architecture facilitates building technology, including smart contract platforms that can pose a credible threat to Ethereum's dominance. That technology will be covered in this article as we compare Polkadot's first smart contract platform implementation to Ethereum's. In the near future, Polkadot will likely support and interconnect a variety of different smart contract platforms.
So we're kind of going over the same, subject, which is yes, this is definitely
as a fully extensible and scalable blockchain testbed that can host and connect a wide range of upgradable smart contract platforms, Polkadot could significantly accelerate the pace of innovation in smart contracts, dApps, consensus governance, and other decentralized web technologies. Polkadot's parallel chain design will deliver, at launch, a base layer transaction capacity and security properties similar to what is expected of Ethereum's Serenity years from now. By providing a scalable and secure platform that facilitates experimentation, unencumbered by the need to coordinate hard forks, Polkadot could attract Ethereum projects and users and disrupt its network effects. As of January 5th,
because you can run Solidity contracts directly on Polkadot, so there's really no learning curve.
As of January 5th, 2019, at least 27 projects, including 0x and Aragon, have announced their intent to build on Polkadot.
And NoLimitCoin, Dr. Wood. And we're going to want our own parachain. And that's why I'm invoking my buddies from the other chains, because maybe we could crowdfund our way to our own parachain, because one parachain easily can support multiple coins, and it's completely seamless for those coins. So we could crowdfund it, get our own parachain, and I'll be happy. Here's the history. Let's talk about his history, because he ran into some really crazy situations, hacks, and look, they still did it. They got through it. Very commendable.
Polkadot is the brainchild of Gavin Wood, a seminal figure in Ethereum's early history. Wood was co-founder, initial CTO, and core developer of Ethereum. He coded the platform's first implementation, wrote its formal specification, and invented the Solidity smart contract programming language.
Which is what you used to
On
write
January
the
11th,
smart
2016, Wood bid farewell to the Ethereum community and turned his attention toward a new venture that would deliver on the promises that, in Wood's opinion, Ethereum could not. According to Wood, the original idea for Polkadot came to him in the summer of 2016 while waiting for Ethereum 2.0 sharding specs to solidify enough to start implementing them. Prompted by developer Marek Kotovich, he started trying to design a sharded version of Ethereum that was as simple as possible. By October 2016, Wood had finished the first draft of the Polkadot white paper.
Let's keep going here. This is interesting. I just want to see how, even great ones
While still at Ethereum, Wood co-founded, along with several members of the Ethereum team, the for-profit Ethical blockchain technology company, which later became Parity Technologies, hereafter referred to as Parity. Parity has developed important blockchain infrastructure technology, such as the Parity Ethereum client, the Substrate development framework, Polkadot network, and the Parity multi-signature wallet smart contract.
Substrate.
On July 19th, 2017, a vulnerability in Parity's multi-sig wallet code affecting a total of 596 wallet instances holding over 500K was exploited by a hacker who drained 153K at about 33 million United States dollars at the time from 3 different wallet instances. Funds left in the other 593 wallets, about 164 million United States dollars, were rescued and
the only reason I'm going through this is because it's commendable that they faced some really serious hacks on massive amount of money, yet they delivered. And on day one, it's a $4 billion coin, and all these things are coming true. So that's basically to the credit of Dr. Wood and everything they did, because they faced adversity, and certainly those are amazing lessons. So
funds left in the other 593 wallets, about 164 million United States dollars, were rescued and returned by the skillful volunteer hacker collective known as the White Hat Group. The next day, Parity published a blog post explaining what happened and their plans to ensure it didn't happen again. In the summer of 2017, Wood and Parity's Peter Charbon co-founded the non-profit Web3 Foundation to support research and development of decentralized web software protocols. One of Web3 Foundation's primary functions would be to manage the funds raised in the Polkadot token sale that was planned from October of 2017. The token sale, which ran from October 15 to 27, 2017, raised around 145 million United States dollars, making it one of the largest ICOs up to that time. Just 10 days after,
EOS raised $5 billion and their market cap isn't even that. He raised $100 million and his market cap's $4 billion.
Just 10 days after the token sale ended on November 6, 2017, a second attack on the Parity multi-sig contract froze the remaining 513,774 and other tokens held in all wallet instances, resulting in a combined loss of around 150 million United States dollars. Most affected was the Web3 Foundation's wallet, which held about 306K at over 90 million United States dollars, or 2/3 of the total proceeds of the Polkadot eco. A week later, the Web3 Foundation reported that it still had enough funds left to deliver Polkadot, and Parity's founders expressed optimism that the frozen funds would likely to be recovered within 4 to 6 months.
I'm not quite sure. So, they got it done. So everybody faces, imagine those hacks, and there's videos of him talking as if it was just, a cup of coffee. Pretty amazing. All right, so scalability, we talked about that. And let's talk a little bit about these acronyms, these names, where it's just a good thing to know what each of these things means. You've got Babe, you've got Grandpa, you've got Ghost, and it's just part of what I want to do with these videos is drill down a little deeper. So let's
consensus on the relay chain is achieved through 2 single responsibility consensus mechanisms, one for block production and the other for finality. Separation of block production from finality addresses the scalability limitations of it.
And I get it. A lot of people might say, hey, how does this relate to me? Why do I need to know any of this? You know what? You do. It's not going to hurt you. I mean, you don't have to know. You can go to PayPal and just buy Bitcoin and look what's happening, right? But really, the future does have a lot of not complexities, but offshoots and really multi-dimensional projects that are very exciting. So even if the first time around it doesn't register, I suggest you just
separation of block production from finality addresses the scalability limitations of instant finality consensus protocols.
Because that's how it is with me at first.
Enabling fast production of blocks and allowing a greater number of validators to participate in consensus. The two mechanisms are named by their highly contrived acronyms.
I hate to hear acronyms, and which I don't know what they mean. So I get on like this thing. Okay, what does it mean? So BABE, these blind assignment for blockchain extension. Okay, that's what BABE means. And grandpa, ghost-based recursive ancestor deriving prefixed agreement. Oh God.
The two mechanisms are named by their highly contrived acronyms. BABE, blind assignment for blockchain extension for production of new blocks, and grandpa, ghost-based recursive ancestor deriving prefix agreement for finality of old blocks. BABE is an algorithm for generating relay chain blocks, which consist of headers from all valid and available parachon blocks produced by collators on those parahons. BABE is a slot-based algorithm where the right to produce a relay chain block for a given time slot is randomly assigned to a validator known as the slot leader.
Validator here is like a block producer on EOS. It's the people that operate the servers, that confirm the blocks are good.
Eligibility to issue the next block is decided.
And we definitely are interested potentially in the future to become maybe a validator. There's something called a collator. There's something called a fisherman that you go out and try to look at bad actors and you get bounties for that. So those are exciting projects, and it wouldn't be a bad idea if we're going to operate a parachain on Polkadot. Why not be a validator or a collator and understand, the blockchain from the inside and out. So, those email addresses, if anybody out there is also excited about maybe participating in something like that, we really want to just go all in with Dot. It's great.
Eligibility to issue the next block is decided by a private local calculation using a verifiable random function, VRF. The ABE's design draws heavily from the block production component of Ouroboros Spray's Cardano's POS consensus protocol. However, it addresses certain practical limitations such as clock drift by implementing relative time.
All right, let's move on. Grandpa, okay. So what do we got here? PDK, parachain development kits on Substrate, right? So at one point, I'm actually gonna want to do a video and actually do a little basic coding, and maybe everybody can download their own PDK Polkadot development kit and just mess around with that, right? Why did I highlight this? Let's see.
At a high level, Polkadot's architecture closely resembles the sharding designs proposed for Ethereum 2.0.
So sharding is Ethereum, parachains is Polkadot, just lingo, jargon.
At a high level, Polkadot's architecture closely resembles the sharding designs proposed for Ethereum 2.0. Both designs scale by having a number of chains that execute transactions in parallel parahons in Polkadot. Shards in Ethereum and synchronize with each other through a main heartbeat chain, relay chain in Polkadot, beacon chain in Ethereum. Both will employ a slot-based POS consensus algorithm. Both systems will utilize a common validator.
Yeah, okay. What else we got here? Yeah, the comparisons, governance. Oof, that's a very deep subject. But there's a lot of governance, on-chain governance in Polkadot versus Ethereum. It's just suggestions. People can suggest stuff and then they don't have to do it. In the case of Polkadot, they have a system where you could actually vote and say, we like this, we don't like that. So I'm not going to get into all the stuff about that because I don't want to make this such a long
Vote buying, which can be accomplished through stake pool rewards, is a common method for cartels to capture voting systems to ensure economic buy-in to decisions.
Right. So basically what people do is they pull a bunch of coin and then they vote and then they move these decisions right at the end. There's all these people that vote, whale comes, they move the decision one way or another. In the case of Polkadot, you're not going to be able to do that because the voting power is a factor not only of the amount of coin you have, but how long it's been staked. The longer it's been staked, the more votes it's worth. So, you get more value for staked coin. And in the long run, it provides a more level
to ensure economic buy-in to decisions and discourage vote selling. Polkadot employs time-locked vote multiplying and delayed enactment of approved referenda. Voters must lock their tokens for some time period greater than the enactment delay and can multiply the weight of their stake vote with longer lock times. This creates a futarchy-like mechanism where voters with conviction on a certain issue can bet bigger on it, i.e. multiply their influence by staking more tokens for longer. Delayed enactment creates a period prior to enactment during which opposers to a decision can exit their tokens from the system while the...
Okay, so we're happy. We think, we're sure that that Polkadot's going to be a wonderful place.
Perhaps no one understands and appreciates the lessons learned on Ethereum more than Polkadot's creator, Gavin Wood, who is one of the original designers of Solidity. It's likely that those experiences will have some impact on the design of smart contract programming languages developed for Polkadot, such as Parities Inc. Language, Inc. is a Rust-based embedded domain specific.
Conclusion, yes, we made it. All right, this will be a little long. But...
Conclusion, when its mainnet launches in June, Edgeware will provide a high throughput, fast finality, pure POS chain and WASM-based smart contracts platform well ahead of This
is Edgeware. And this basically, they are going to build on, okay. All right, so let's move on here. So we talked about the conclusion. Did we finish the conclusion? Anyway, all right. Here's the white paper, and I've been through it. It's interesting. You know, it goes just deeper into everything we've been talking about. And let's just do a summary. I was going to do a lot more, but okay, let you guys off the hook.
Conclusion, when its mainnet launches in June, Edgeware will provide a high throughput, fast finality, pure.
Oh, that was a lot previous.
Polkadot is a scalable heterogeneous multi-chain. This means that unlike previous blockchain implementations, which have focused on providing a single chain of varying degrees of generality over
So basically, you know, we're kind of going over it, making it second nature to us, understanding that it's a multi-dimensional or multi-chain solution. And here is an interesting article, which is choosing a platform between Polkadot and Ethereum. We don't have to choose. We're going to actually choose both of them with a bridge, and that way we're going to perform all our complicated smart contracts on Polkadot. And we want to, when we want to go to Uniswap, we just go right through the bridge, no problem. Let's talk. Let's see what this.
Despite similarities, very different strengths in terms of similarities, both Ethereum and Polkadot aim to provide a space where developers can create decentralized applications. Both platforms include smart contract functionality based on Solidity for Ethereum and Inc. For Polkadot, if we look forward to Ethereum 2.0, both platforms are pursuing a scaling strategy based on parallelized execution. Each thread of execution is called a shard in Ethereum 2.0 and a parashard or parathread in Polkadot.
We already went through that, the architecture. So, and here is Grandpa. We don't need to go into that. This is Substrate. This is the programming language that Dr. Wood developed, and I already registered. There's an event the 3rd, and you can register for free. I did already, and here they're gonna give me a little quick tour, and I saved it for this video. Let's see what's going on. So the tour on the virtual event that Polkadot's going to have the 3rd. Okay, let's continue. So this is taking too long here. All right, so this is the Polkadot website. It's the technology. There's a nice, you can kind of get an idea. All these are parachains, and you have all this communication between all these parachains. And out here, it's Ethereum and Chainlink and Link and NXM and all these other potential blockchains. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be a blockchain. It could be real world data like voting in countries, and you can put them through Polkadot. You've got the GitHub repository, you've got documentation, and the glossaries, right? So the first thing is we already know there's a relay chain, so that's what Polkadot is. Then under that are the parachains, and they're going to auction those, and there's 100 of them, and you can crowdfund your way to that. But if you don't actually qualify to get your own parachain, you could also do parathreads, which is a pay-as-you-go model. And it also can work, and it's completely transparent. Nobody's going to know if you own the parachain or if it's a parathread. So you could pool resources and get a parachain, and then offer it to other coins to come on board and charge them maybe some fees or no fees at all, and so forth. And then the bridges are what's going to be between bridges, so people can go into all the other ones. They're building to Ethereum, to Bitcoin, to Chainlink. And the consensus and governance, that's a big subject. We've talked about substrate. Here's the wiki for Polkadot, and it's interesting. There's a lot of very valuable information. We talked about there's 100 parachain slots, and they're going to auction them off. So that's something that will be an interesting development going down. And I talked about right now, there's basically a wrapped Bitcoin being built, or a bridge, which is what we're going to do essentially, right? So they're building a basic Polka BTC, it's called.
Intel has previously released a detailed technical specification and a working POC implementation. After the successful pilot project, Intel is now expediting efforts to complete the BTC parachon in Q. Once deployed, users will be able to mint one-to-one Bitcoin-backed assets onto Polkadot as Polka BTC and use these across a wide range of apps.
So that's the whole point, the wrap tokens, right? Obtaining a parachain, we talked about that. We're not sure how much the deposit's going to be, but actually, when you secure a parachain, if you deposit an amount of money, be it $100,000 or $1 million or whatever it's going to be, at the end of the 2-year lease, that money comes back to you. So you're not really even spending any money, but you are staking it. So it is cost of opportunity, and capital these days is a big deal. All right, Chainlink. Chainlink is very important for us because we are going to operate that smart contract that we've talked about, that betting protocol, and we need results. Blockchains are very closed. They're basically vaults, code vaults that are impenetrable, unhackable. That's the whole point of them. But that also makes them basically disconnected from anything. You can't plug in databases. Up to now, that's what Chainlink did. They basically said, we're going to figure out a way where you can call external API data like sports betting results, and we're going to talk to our data providers, and we're going to set everything up so their data can actually go through Chainlink and they can become a data oracle. And I actually also have a very interesting side project, which would be creating your own sports data oracle. So if anybody's into AI, drop me a line, because Google's making money from all of us up to now. Right now it's time to make a little from them, and maybe through AI and a combination of real world basically paid API fees that are very reliable can be combined with a little bit of AI or a lot of AI. But that's a different story, and I want to do a video specifically on Chainlink and go into actually the coding piece and show how simple it is, what it actually does, and why it's so important to the ecosphere. And it's going to be important to us because that's how we're going to be able to plug our blockchain smart contract to determine if a sports result was A or B, and then achieve that that 5-way smart contract that we've been talking about, which is really the heart of our whole project. And I wanted to show everybody the random number. Chainlink has a random number generator. So any of those games out there, poker games that are always complaining about RNGs and is this rigged or not, you could just come here to basically Chainlink, obtain a random number for your either poker, slot machines, or whatever, and have the confidence that the RNG was generated by Chainlink. So if you ever have that situation, here's a solution. Okay, and let's talk about DraftKings, right? DraftKings, they're up today big. Market cap is $18 billion. They'd be like the third or fourth coin. And essentially what the market is saying, sports betting is going to be huge, and we like what you've done. And in essence, we've basically followed, not that we're following them specifically, but we are headed in that direction in terms of the types of games we're going to be offering, the markets we're going to be offering. You can see that we've got a Delaware company that's going to be applying for sports gaming licenses. So we're definitely moving in that direction, and we're excited to see the industry vibrant and rewarding these projects, because we are headed hopefully in that direction, right? And it's all going to depend on the funding. So, yes, we have all these projects and all these moves, but luckily I've been getting a lot of emails. We got people from the past. It seems like we've got the first couple of rounds, which are going to be the low fee rounds, done, and then the bigger rounds are going to come later. You can see FanDuel's last quarter has been great. They added 500,000 users. They're going to do $1 billion. And here we could see Uniswap, which as soon as we're on ERC-20, that same day we'll get on Uniswap, and we'll be able to use, once we're on ERC, we'll be able to use all these wallets, right? MetaMask and Trezor and Ledger and many other